What is the biggest threat to high street estate agency? Today, I'm joined by Ben Marley, and he's here to talk to me about what he believes is the biggest threat to high street estate agency. Ben, talk to me.
So I'm going to put the question back to you, Chris. What would you say are some of the biggest challenges that high street agents face today?
Thought I was interviewing you, mate.
You are, but
Okay, biggest challenges. If we roll the clock back to 2015 or 16, everyone thought that the purple bricks was the biggest challenge, and we all would know where that went. However, I'm of the opinion that open rent is a massive threat to letting agents. And when you consider that they've taken their market share has gone from 6% in 2019 to late teens,
Yeah.
and half of the properties that they put on last year were previously listed with high street letting agents. I think that's a massive, massive threat.
if you were going to summarize rather than specifics, what would you say are the top 2 or 3 challenges that high street agents face today?
I'd say there's 3 things: stock, fees, and competition. Stock, getting the right stock on at the right price and getting it sold when only 1 in 2 homes actually sell and you get paid on. Fees, how the hell can we run a business at 1% when in reality, we should be charging 1.5, if not more. And then competition, there's simply too many competitors out there. And how do you make yourself stand out? I would say they're the big 3.
Yeah, absolutely. So just on competition, I think that competition is the biggest threat to the high street agent.
Okay, go on.
Every agent, every town is not short of an estate agency.
Yeah, there's not a lack of estate agent problem, is there?
And that comes from quite a few different factors. One of those will be corporate agents that have turned into independents, but now there is a new challenge. Now there is the self-employed model. Everyone thought back in 2015, 2016, that it was going to be the online agent. The online agent was going to take over Purple Bricks, eMove.
They were running around like headless chickens, weren't they?
Absolutely. When you look at who those people were, a lot of those people hadn't been estate agents before. They were employing people from outside of the industry. They were putting them through their academy. They were trying to train them up to be a local property expert / estate agent. And we saw what happened with that. Self-employed now offers a different challenge. It offers a different challenge because what you're doing is if I'm a high street agent, an independent agent, there is an opportunity that my valuer, my branch manager, my assistant manager, my right-hand individual,
the person who's red hot that brings my business in, could bugger off and set up their own agency.
Absolutely. And it's happening in every single town.
Every town.
And if I'm a high street agent, that causes me 2 problems. One, it causes me a problem that I've now got a competitor, an additional competitor to the other 10, 15, 20 competitors that I used to have. But that competitor is also my best member of staff. So I've now got to replace my best member of staff with someone else. That may not be as good as that person at that moment in time, but that's now hit you twice. It's hit you twice because it's now an additional competitor and it's also your best member of staff.
So what's the solution?
I think it's all about looking after your staff. Your staff are your biggest asset.
Colleagues.
Your colleagues are your biggest asset.
I'm funny. Go on. Yeah, so go on. Why do we do that? How do we retain the red hot valuer? So, finding someone who doesn't necessarily know the town and your best valuer going.
So I think it's very easy to assume that everyone's happy with where they are. Everyone's happy with what they're doing because they're doing really well, that they're obviously very, very happy. Are they? How often do you ask them? How often do you talk to them about what the future looks like?
What, like one-to-ones? You're off funny.
How often do you have a conversation about how they can progress further in your business?
Agreed.
Those are the conversations that I just don't think are being had. You're quite vocal about how people only leave if they're unhappy. People only leave if they're undervalued. So guess what? Make them feel valued. Make them feel that they're part of your journey.
And you're absolutely right. People say we're in a people business, but we don't act like that, do we?
The last thing that you should be really thinking is, how much money are they making for me? And as long as they keep making that money for me, then everything's all good. Because guess what? At some point, that's going to change. And when that changes, that's going to really hurt. And you just want to avoid that.
So you're saying that probably if a boss is worried that their valuers are going to go and set up their own agency, it could be as simple as just sitting down saying, how are you? What do I need to do to keep you happy?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's about what you can do. What can I do to keep you happy? It's let me understand, what do you want from from the journey? What journey do you want to go on? Where do you want to take your life? Do you want to stay in agency? Do you see yourself as, you know, a branch manager? What do you want for the next 5 or 10 years? Let me try and be part of that journey with you.
That does sound very simple. Do you not think that's happening?
If it was, why would people be leaving? Why would people be going set up on their own? We all know that the reason why a lot of people set up on their own is they go, well, I'm a branch manager who's now turned my branch from 300 to 500,000-600,000, and I've made 10% of that. I could be making a lot more. If you don't give people opportunities, if you don't give them the reward that they deserve, guess what? They'll reach a point where they go, I've had enough. I'm going to go and do this for myself. And that's why we're seeing the explosion.
I mean, I think EXP have got 500-600. I've done a back of the fact packet working out. There's about 1,200 estate agents on the self-employed model at the moment, if you add them all up. When you consider there's only 13,500 firms. You know, I was laughed at in 2008, 2018, 2019, saying I think self-employed agency would take hold in this in the country. And I think it will. I think it's been a bit slower than I thought it would be, but.
So there's roughly 1,400 different locations in the UK. So if we've already got 1,200 self-employed, that's looking at, there is nearly one self-employed person per town. There will be duplications in that from different models. It's not going to take long before there's 4 or 5 in every town.
And a lot of people take the mickey out of them by saying, well, they're only selling 3 or 4 houses a month. But if you've got no overheads, they're probably making a lot more money than you selling 30 with an office full of people.
100%.
Ben, thank you for your time today and that wonderful insight. If you've got anything to say on this, put them in the comments on the social media or on the YouTube channel. Thanks very much for your time.